Hi, I'm Bobby Swanson. I'm with Remax One. And I want to reach out to each and every one of you in this very moment to discuss with you one question that's always been brought to my attention. Is it a good time? Well, interest rates are low. That's good. Prices have stabilized. That's good. However, if you look at the national average, real estate has increased, but we're not the national average. We live in Southern California. I don't sell houses, I sell weather. People don't buy here to buy a home. They can go to Texas, Denver, anywhere, Nebraska, anywhere in the United States, they can buy a large home for the same price as they can buy a condo for here. So people live here to get away from the snow, the blizzards, the crazy weather everywhere. So I sell weather. The reality of it is I've gone through 3 bad markets and 3 great markets. In 1979, interest rates, in November of 79, interest rates were 11.25%. By April of 1980, interest rates were at 18%. So do you think that that was a good market? Then the market healed itself. Rates went down as low as 12%, and everybody thought, oh my God, that's such a good rate, and people were buying. Then we had the S&L meltdown in the 1990s, and it wasn't until 1996 before the market started to shift. Then the market went up until the 2007, 2008. I'll never forget watching TV, and this stockbroker or stock firm or this brokerage firm was saying that the market's not going to bust, it's going to go down slowly. I've never seen that happen. And the market didn't go down slowly. It crashed. And this time, it crashed in such a way that it affected the whole country, the whole world. So, do I think that will happen again? I do, eventually. But the question is it a good time to buy? And I say, absolutely. If you're gonna buy it for yourself and you're gonna live in the house and you have a 30-year mortgage at 3.5%, 3.75%, you're gonna have it paid down in 15 years. Half or a large percentage of it is gonna be paid down. So it's a great time to buy if you're gonna live in the property to live there. If you're buying for investment, well, you got to look at all the circumstances. Then there's cap rates, there's gross multipliers. A whole different thought process goes involved. But if you're buying to live in the home, it's always a good time to buy when rates are low and prices stabilize or they're somewhat affordable. Now, grant you, in the last meltdown, if you had a 550 FICO score, you were able to get a loan. You didn't even have to have a job and they were making loans. It didn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that was going to bottom out. And there was a secondary market involved, where before that, the S&Ls were only lending their own money. So that's basically saying that the banks were only lending the money they had on deposit. So this last go around, they sold to the secondary market in boatloads. And they sold bad loans and they packaged them with good loans. So is it a good time to buy? That's always a personal decision that you have to make. You still receive tax benefits and you still get equity buildup, meaning if you paid down your mortgage, you have the difference of value between what the value's worth and what you owe against it. But I will assure you this, in 30 years that you buy that house, you'll see the market drop and you'll see the market increase. Now, the stock market in the last 30 years has not done as well as the real estate market. The stock market on average has done about 10%. The real estate market, on the other hand, is at 12% with tax benefits. And the fact that if you personally own it, you get up to $500,000, right now anyway. You can sell your property, you get up to $500,000 if you're married, free and clear. You don't pay capital gains tax on it. So it makes no common sense with the benefits not to move forward if you're buying for a long-term hold. If you're going out thinking that you're gonna buy and sell in 6 months or a year, don't even do that, because that's not the purpose of buying a home. The idea of buying a home is that you're gonna live there, you're gonna raise your family there, and when you're ready to sell it, regardless of what the market does, you're gonna sell it and replace it with another home. So it's gonna be the same level of ownership, except that you're buying more than. So, is it a good time to buy? That's always a personal decision. I suggest you talk to your financial advisors, your CPAs, and even your mothers and fathers or people that have owned homes for a long time that are paid off, and ask them, was it a good decision? I remember my father when he bought his ranch in Santa Paula, and his payment was $150 a month. And I said, Dad, was that tough? He said, I didn't know how I was gonna make it. And that was for a ranch in Santa Paula. Today, that ranch is worth millions of dollars, and it became commercial property. So what I'm saying is that my father made most of his money, if not all of it, in the real estate industry. And he would have always told you to move forward and buy. It's a long-term hold, not a short-term hold. You're not buying it to sell, you're buying it to live in. Now, there is circumstances that come up that you have to look at it in a different standpoint. But right now, if you're thinking about buying, and you want to buy a home, and you want to build security for your family, don't look at it as an inflation process. Look at it as equity buildup, paying down the mortgage. Look at it for tax benefits, and look at it for pride of ownership. So until then, listen to yourself, because yourself has the right and correct answers. But just do a little digging, and you'll see what I'm saying may be true. Have a good day, and I hope you're having a great holiday.